What is up, my loves? Welcome back to my channel or my Instagram. It's your girl, Nath Hughes here, and today we are talking about shifting out of blame so that we can get into the receptive mode. We're going to talk a little bit about money, finances, career, and we're going to talk about relationships and stuff like that. So we'll really kind of rope this in. Let me cut that down. Okay, so the first thing that we want to get into right now, my personal growth has been learning to allow myself to receive more than others, right? And so a lot of us deal with that feeling of guilt. Okay, how can I allow myself to have so much? How can I allow myself to have a good feeling life? How can I allow myself to have an easy life? How can I allow myself to easily get all of my needs met when there are people in the world who are starving, when there are people who are in the world experiencing homelessness, when there are people in the world experiencing insert XYZ thing that you just think is absolutely inhumane and terrible and the worst thing ever in the world, right? So what we're talking about today is learning to allow yourself to receive more than others. One of the blocks, I just want to get right into it. I have to give you an example because that's the way that the message really was coming through. So Walmart, let's talk about the Walmart family and how everybody knows that Walmart as a corporation does their workers dirty, all of that good stuff. If you want information on that, you can Google it, get into the history yourself. I'm using Walmart as an example because that's one that I feel like we kind of collectively all know the most about, we're the most subscribed to, whatever. So talking about the Walmart family and their workers, a lot of the times in our discussions, we're talking a little bit about, right, social justice. We want to make the world a better place. We want everybody to be getting their needs met. And so one of the things that we really focus on is billionaires, right? We focus on billionaires like the Walmart family. We focus on billionaires like Jeff Bezos. We focus on companies like Amazon and Walmart and different things like that, right? And when we talk about these companies, we think, oh my God, it's all their fault, right? It's a very romantic idea. I love that. Kelly introduced me to the concept of a romantic idea. And it's the perfect thing ever, right? It's a romantic idea to think about if we only did X, Y, and Z things, then big companies wouldn't get away with this. Everybody would be getting paid a livable wage and all of the world's problems would be solved, right? It's all the big companies' fault. It's their fault for being greedy. It's their fault for wanting money. It's their fault. And it's not our fault, right? So we're in that vibration of blame. But one of the things that we're not realizing or recognizing is that just because somebody is benefiting from your struggle, just because somebody is benefiting from your pain, just because somebody is benefiting from your lack of self-worth, just because somebody is benefiting from your not having a sense of deserving, not knowing that you are worthy and deserving of a livable wage, just because somebody is benefiting from that does not mean it's not the same thing as them being the cause of your struggle and the cause of your pain. So the first thing that we really want to talk about, or our next point, is that companies like Walmart and Amazon, are they absolutely benefiting off of the fact that a majority of the collective does not feel worthy and deserving of a livable wage? 100%. Are they absolutely benefiting? If we want to talk about politics, or their politicians and policies that are absolutely benefiting from the fact that a majority of the collective doesn't feel empowered about how their government works, doesn't feel empowered in terms of the voting process, doesn't feel empowered overall and in general, are they absolutely benefiting from that? Yes, 100%. So once we recognize that that is true, we also need to recognize our part in it. And it's not victim blaming, it's accountability, but it's the accountability that we really don't talk about too often. the source of all of these problems, the source of people not being paid a livable wage, the source of people not getting their needs met is them. I put way too much on. The source of people not getting their needs met is 100% them. And it's not about, oh my God, it's your fault. You're the person who needs to take the blame and you're the person who should feel bad. No, it just is what it is. In terms of the stories that people are telling themselves about what the world can be, the stories that people are telling themselves about what they deserve to receive, the stories that people are telling themselves, some people just live life and that's just the way that it is. It's completely unfair and that's just the way that it is and I can't do anything about it. It's important to recognize this, that just because these companies and these people are benefiting from your lack of boundaries, from you not having a sense of self-worth, from the collective not having a sense of deserving, that's not the company's fault. If there were workers who knew that they absolutely deserved more and who were refusing to work, and I'm not even talking about protests, I'm not even talking about that, I'm talking about if everybody on the planet had the default expectation of a livable wage, had the default expectation of safety and security, the default expectation of financial resiliency, then these wouldn't even be issues because there would be nobody to work. There would be nobody who is accepting less than what they deserve. That's the problem. The big companies are benefiting from the problem. The problem is the low sense of self-worth. And so in terms of like your love and relationships, for example, we are in relationships with the people who we identify as being narcissists, the people who we feel take advantage of us and don't give us what we think that we deserve and all of that good stuff. You can be in a relationship with somebody who can 100% be taking advantage of the fact that you don't know how to establish boundaries. 100%, yes. Is that person the reason that you don't know how to establish boundaries? No. And as long as you are focusing on blaming that person for all of the problems, everything that went wrong in your relationship, you're doing yourself a disservice, because what happens every single time you get into a new relationship, you're going to be connecting with that same person. That same mirror is 100% being reflected back to you in all of your relationships. And as long as you are refusing to look at the root cause of the situation, your relationships aren't getting any better. And so the message here is that blame, it's not helping you. It's literally not helping you at all. What a lot of people don't realize is that we have this really romantic thought, this really romantic idea of like, well, if everybody just paid a little bit more, everybody in the world would have a livable wage, everybody would be happy, right? I love the idea of a utopia. Of course, I want everybody in the world to be getting their needs met. Of course, I wished that everybody in the world had a default expectation of getting their needs met, of that safety and security, of financial resilience. That's why I do the work that I do. That's why I put out so much content on the internet for free. You know what I'm saying? It's a really, really romantic thought. You have to recognize, though, that not everybody is ready for that. Not everybody is ready for that. Not everybody is open to receiving that. And when I say not everybody is open to receiving that, I mean, you could go into a place where somebody is experiencing extreme poverty, and you could give them a check for $1 million. And that person who is not a vibrational match, who doesn't have the capacity to hold on to that large amount of money, who doesn't have the financial literacy to know how to manage that amount of money, they're going to lose that money. They're going to lose that money, and they're going to end up in the same situation that they were in previously. Your answer is not just give people more money. Your answer is give people a greater sense of deserving, give people a greater sense of self-worth. And so really what we're trying to get at here is the fact that it's a very romantic idea. It's a romantic idea for us to think, well, we could just solve all of the world's problems if we just did this little thing. But it's surface level. It's surface level, because your problem is not that billionaires exist. Your problem is that a whole bunch of people within the collective of the world don't feel worthy and deserving of getting their needs met, don't feel worthy and deserving of enjoying their life. And as long as you are focusing on placing the blame on somebody else, as long as you are focusing on placing the blame of, oh my God, men are so terrible, men are so evil, men are so devious, men are so manipulative, you're never going to fix your problem. You're never going to get the perfect partner that you're wanting. You're not going to get the happy love relationship that you're wanting to manifest, because although manipulation and narcissism and all of that stuff, those are issues and those are problems, they're not issues and problems that you absolutely have to deal with, right? So it's really, really important for the collective that we start focusing on having better boundaries. It's important for the collective that we start focusing on ourselves. You have to be able to look within yourself instead of placing that blame on other people, because at the end of the day, you're never going to take money away from billionaires. Because if somebody is a billionaire, if somebody is allowing themselves to receive unlimited funds, that's just somebody who's allowing themselves to receive every single one of their desires. That's somebody who's allowing themselves to have as many options in their life that they want. Their vibrational match to empowerment when it comes to money and finances. You, people who are struggling, people who don't feel worthy and deserving, you're probably going to be more of a vibrational match to powerlessness. Somebody who is in a state of powerlessness, no matter how angry, no matter how much revenge, all of that, you're not even in the receptive mode to receiving that money like they are. You're not going to be able to take that away from them. That's what we've been talking about the past couple of months. Your route to empowerment doesn't look like disempowering other people. It doesn't look like breaking up the billionaires and all of that stuff. That's not what it looks like at all. It looks like you literally figuring out how you can allow yourself to build and create wealth. Money is energy. That's it. 100%. That's it. That's really all that we have to say for this one. Same thing in your love and relationships. It's time for you to stop placing the blame on other people. Everybody else is not the reason why you don't have your desire. Are they benefiting from that? 100%. You want to stop them from benefiting from that, then you have to level up. Then you have to rise out of your current circumstance. And everybody's not ready for that. Everybody's not choosing that in this life. You have people in your own family who talk about and laugh about the spiritual work that you do. There are people who, for whatever reason, are not interested in healing and shifting and doing all of the work that it would take to allow themselves to have an easier life. You have to become a completely different person in order to allow yourself to have wealth, in order to allow yourself to have abundance, in order to feel worthy and deserving of receiving your desires. That takes work. That takes healing work. That takes mindset shift work. It just is what it is. Some of you have chosen to be on that journey. Can you allow yourself to be on that journey without a feeling of guilt, recognizing that you now get to be the person to inspire somebody else, that there's somebody somewhere out there who gets to look at you and your journey and go, oh my God, if Nathallie can do this, then I might be able to do it too. Let me listen to what she's saying in some of her videos, etc., etc. That's how you get to influence the world. That's your social justice work, instead of, okay, we all have to struggle here together and talk about our struggle and blame X, Y, and Z person for the reason that we're struggling. It's not true. They're benefiting from your struggle 100%. Is it the most amazing thing in the world? Do we love it? Do we want to celebrate it? Not necessarily, no. But blaming them, being mad at them, being angry at them, being in the vibration of revenge towards them, that's not helping you. It's not helping you to get to where you want to go. It's not helping your people. It's not helping your cause at all. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your energy, and you're wasting your focus. If you want help with this, come work with me in my one-on-one container. Links to that are in the bio or the description of this. I love y'all so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.